Hello everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Project Temporality. So this is a game by Defrost Games, and it is currently available on Desura. I believe there's only Windows, maybe Mac, I'd have to double check. But it is available for $15, and in addition to that, it is also on Steam Greenlight. So as always, I will put links in the description to where you can purchase the game now, as well as the Greenlight link, so you can vote for it if you believe that it should be available on Steam. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to play through level 1 and level 3. If we go into level select here, there are 14 levels total. I have gotten through the first 3 in like an hour, so of course it depends on how good you are at puzzle games. I tend to be pretty good, but this one has been pretty different as far as how a normal puzzle game would go. So, alright. You're up and about, Subject 87. Finally, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see your motor system hasn't been debilitated from the incision. Now, on to the trials. We still have to find out if your brainstem has interfaced with the implant. Okay, I'm probably not going to read a ton of the dialogue. Alright, one of these passages will let you through, while the others will trap you forever, but don't overthink this, just pick one. And then there's also these, which we can pick up. I'm not going to in this video, but it is possible to pick them up and kind of check out what's going on. So this is the wrong passage. So we can actually enter a time warp, and we can move time forwards and backwards to make sure that we take the right path this time. And that is going to be kind of the basis of all the puzzles in this. And they can be pretty tricky. So again, I believe this is just scripted, so that whichever one you walk on first won't work. Same thing with the doors, because I think I actually made the opposite choices this time of what I made when I played through earlier. So, kind of interesting. Again, I'm just going to kind of skip past the story parts. Not that the story's bad, I just haven't been like too interested in it, I guess you could say. I don't know, the story seems kind of secondary to the gameplay, which is, in my opinion, that's fine because it's a puzzle game. You know, the story doesn't need to be super great. Alright, so you can see we're in kind of this sci-fi environment where probably it looks like we're on a spaceship of some sort, some kind of space station. Yep, so this is just telling us that standing on this will open. We're actually going to go out, and we are going to create a clone. So our other one will still go and press that button. Yeah, and it's going to reset so that we can solve this on our own this time, even though I did it the first time. That's okay. This is supposed to be the tutorial level, so I'm just going to kind of rush through this. Level 2 is where things get really tough already. And then level 3 was pretty tough as well. And of course I haven't played any farther than that. Like I said, that took me roughly an hour. So it, you know, difficulty definitely picks up pretty quickly. Alright, so I want to go like this. I believe I want to do that. Rewind back. Make another timeline. Press that one. Rewind back a little. Make a third timeline. Oh, not quite. That's okay. I will go back. Back to where I made this timeline. Let it play out. Run over here. Go step on this. And then what I can actually do is back up to right here. So, you know, you can see on my timer it says it's only taking me like a minute and 50 seconds. Well, it's because, of course, it times back yeah, so that's just like determining how many stars you get in each level, which isn't a huge deal. I think I'm going the wrong way. I'm not too concerned about getting the stars. I'm much more concerned about just being able to complete the levels, which is tough enough on its own. But you know, there is the there is those difficulties to think about if you are someone who is kind of into that. Yeah, okay, so what I actually need to do here is I'm gonna go like this, then go stand on it. So a lot of times, right, so this is where a lot of the length comes from, is actually like repositioning yourself over and over again to be able to solve the puzzle correctly, which I guess that's okay. The problem is, so like I'm gonna compare this a little bit to, oops, I accidentally clicked on level 2. I'm actually going to go back to the level select and do level 3. Level 2 has one part in it that I just don't want to do. So, yes, back to level 3. So like what I was going to mention is that like, so there are times in Portal where solving a puzzle will have like a big setup, and then you get like one shot. And it's especially in like the co-op mode for Portal, not so much in the single player, but like all those times when you have to keep resetting the puzzle from the beginning, that gets like really old really fast. And if I was gonna have a complaint about this game, that would be it. Is there's just like this problem where, say I don't solve the puzzle right the first time, sometimes I've got to rewind for like an entire minute to try and resolve the puzzle. And there was one part of level 2 where I maybe spent 20 minutes working on one puzzle just because of having to rewind over and over and over again to kind of get the timing right. So that is probably like my one big complaint about the game, is that a lot of the length actually comes from like that kind of thing rather than the game being difficult, because it's not always like that difficult to figure out what I'm supposed to do. The difficult part is like the timing of it, and a lot of times that means if you get the timing wrong, you're rewinding for like 30 seconds of your time and resetting sometimes like 3 or 4 different clones to get everything to work right, which can be kind of a drag, I guess. That being said, it is a pretty neat kind of way to do puzzles. I don't mind that at all, and I definitely appreciate the ideas here. And I definitely appreciate all of the work that went into this, because not only did the puzzles work well, but it's also just a pretty game. It's really nice looking. And of course, I'm going to be able to solve most of this pretty well and pretty fast. That is because I just did this, so this is probably not like super indicative of what kind of like sight reading a level would look like. But I also didn't want this to be a half-hour video of me trying to solve something. So I'm gonna do this. I'm surprised my guy is not yelling at me yet. I had him yell at me about how I shouldn't stand on that switch like 5 times. It was weird, but it may have just like been a little bit of a glitch. Because I think it's supposed to yell at you if you stand on the switch as soon as you get across, because that's obviously the switch to send the platform back across. So if you do it then you're kind of out of luck. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so this one, I actually like this one a lot. This is a pretty good puzzle. The reason I'm doing this level is because this is a similar kind of puzzle to the one in level 2, so I'm assuming it's going to be kind of a staple as far as the types of puzzles we're going to see. But this one is like much more fixable if you screw something up. So that is kind of nice in my opinion. So, I mean, as you can see, all we're doing is going and pressing these buttons. Then, of course, I'm going to rewind back. And then I'll be able to go through the green door. So, I mean, the puzzles are good. They're definitely, you know, pretty unique puzzles, and they're interesting. You know, like I said, though, my big issue is that sometimes making a mistake can cost you multiple like minutes of real time. Obviously that's not an effect, so this is the part of this level that took me forever. So let's see. Yeah, so that's not going to work. So I'm actually just going to back up to where I started, and I think if I just run straight in here and press the button, the timing might work out on it. Let's see. Yes. Okay, cool. That is actually perfect. So this was another spot that took me a little bit. Just because you have to time this, right? So the lasers are not just like damaging lasers, they'll actually push you. So you actually have to time this correctly so that the laser is being blocked when you go past it on the platform, which can be kind of a pain to set up, especially because of the angle it's all done at. It was not necessarily the easiest thing. See, so that was like really close. I'm lucky that that worked out. But this will wrap up wrap up level 3. Holy cow. Wrap up episode 3? No. This game is not in episodes, it's in levels. But anyways, yeah, so that is you know, I think that's a pretty good example of kind of what's going on in the game. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. Like I said, you know, I think the art style is pretty good. The music is okay. If I'm remembering correctly, there was only like one track, I think, and it just kind of looped. Which, you know, that's okay. I guess I just would have liked to hear a little more variety. You know, maybe some more like sound effects going on, just like background sound effects to kind of bring the whole experience together, kind of make you really feel like you're on the ship. But other than that, you know, I like the art style. For the most part, I like the puzzles. Some of them just get to be a little tedious, especially if you kind of screw up over and over. But all in all, I think it's a pretty good puzzle game. I think it's a pretty neat idea. So, yeah, as always, of course, check the links in the description if you would like to buy it on Desura. And also check the links if you would like to vote for the game on Greenlight, because that'll definitely help the developers out. So, yes, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day. And if you liked my video on Project Temporality, then please consider clicking the like button. That helps me out a lot, and I appreciate everything that you can do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.